Hi, welcome to a gentle yoga practice. We'll be focusing on the upper body today. When you're ready, you can join me in a seated position. However, you can sit comfortably is perfect. Take a few moments, kind of shift the weight foot to foot, shift the weight hip to hip. What's touching the ground here? It's sit bones here. And then start to reduce how much you're moving side to side. Maybe you close the eyes down. However, your day's been going, start to shift your focus inward. I know many of our lives really demand that we have a lot of sensory awareness outside of ourselves. And it's great to have that skill set, but super important that we also cultivate some sensory awareness inside of ourselves. Go ahead and shift very subtly forward and backward. You might be shifting quite a lot, actually. Shift however much or little is feeling good in your own body. Maybe even circle the ribs over the hips a couple times. If you do that, go ahead and switch the direction. And then if you haven't already, start to bring your body into stillness. So we're approaching stillness not from a really rigid kind of directive here, but more just from a place of curiosity. Can you bring the body into a center and find something that feels stable? And let yourself really settle back into that. Maybe you even feel the shoulders shift back just a bit in space. I think yoga is the first place that I ever heard the reminder or the teaching that absolutely every insight that we need is within our own beings, within our own bodies, our own hearts, our own minds. So, especially a practice like this, where we're moving a little slower, maybe enjoying moments of stillness, have these moments to truly check in with the wisdom of your own body, your own mind, your own heart. If you are looking for some sort of insight, guidance, or awareness, you might pose a question to yourself right here. It could be as simple as, what do I need to take the next right step? Bring your hands to your heart, sit up a little bit taller, press the breastbone up against the thumbs. Big, deep inhale, lengthening from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Open your mouth and let it go. Blink the eyes open when you're ready. Reach the arms up overhead, pressing the palms upward, lengthening to the sides of the body. Continue to root down through your sit bones. And then take a spinal twist over to the right. Left hand can drop somewhere outside of the right knee. Reach back up through the center as you breathe in. You can interlace the fingers or not. And then take that spinal twist over to the left as you breathe out. Long breath back to the center. Inhale. This time, take a side bend. Bring the right hand down as you exhale. Maybe even the right forearm comes down. Come back through the center. Breathe in. And then take your side bend over to the left. Nice long breath out. Let's take it side to side a couple times. It's okay if you don't completely sync up the breath to this movement, but just notice that you are breathing. Breathe in a way that helps you feel connected to this stretch. You don't have to be down on the forearm like I am. You can be up on your palm or your fingers. The next time you have that side stretch over to your right, so the left arm is up, pause there. And then bend the left elbow, pull that left shoulder down toward the spine, down onto the back of the ribs. Reach the left arm long, let the shoulder kind of hunch up in toward the left ear, and then drag it back down. Maybe twist open toward the ceiling a bit. Reach the arm long. You might rotate the chest slightly toward the ground, and then bend the elbow, taking that twist up toward the sky. Couple more. So we've got that side stretch and some trunk rotation here. Pause with the left elbow bent, and then come back to the center. Bring your hands back behind you for a moment. Tuck the fingers back behind you. You can lift onto the finger pads here. Roll the shoulders onto the back of the ribs. Think about cow, so find some extension in the spine. Tip the chin up, opening up the throat. Long breath in. As you exhale, come back through neutral, and then keep going, walking the hands forward, finding a forward fold, some spinal flexion here. Press into the hands, kind of tuck the tailbone under, and then push the hips back a bit. Really find some space in the lower back. Maybe breathe into the back of the ribs. And use the breath to open up some space in the back body from the inside out. So when you think about it, we're really kind of coming from two ends here, moving the body into this position, but also deepening your breath, kind of filling the spaces between the back of the ribs and the back of the hips and pelvis, the area around the kidneys and the adrenals. Walk the hands back in, lifting up to the center as you breathe in. And then we'll take that side bend over to the left. Right arm is up this time. As that arm comes long, you have a tiny twist, tiny rotation down. As you bend that right elbow, tiny rotation up. Moving from those two shapes. Breathing in a way that helps you feel connected. Maybe exploring a pattern of movement here. So if you have anything really crinkly or uncomfortable, see if you can reduce the range of motion or even move in a slightly different path until you find something that doesn't feel irritating in your shoulders or your neck. Sometimes less is more. The next time you have that elbow bent, go ahead and stay there. And then come all the way back up through the center. Interlace your fingers. This time press the palms away from your body. Tuck the chin in toward your chest. Tuck the navels. Pull the pubic bone up a little bit. Big breath in. As you exhale, bend the elbows. Tilt the tailbone back. Send the chest through the arms and tip the chin up. Inhale, round the spine, so slightly different. Tailbone tucks under, navel comes in. Exhale, find that extension, chest pulls through. Couple more. See if you can slow yourself down, slower than you think you need to. If the breath feels really fussy, or if you'd rather swap and do the alternate, by all means. The breath is really just an element to focus on to build a little bit of presence or skill. You can absolutely build presence and skill in other ways. Listen to your own body. It's the whole point today. Once more, find that rounded position. Keep your hands the way they are. Last time, we're going to lift the arms up. Lift straight up through a neutral spine as tall as you can from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Breathe in. Then meet me on your hands and your knees, finding a tabletop position. Arms straight to start. Let's check in with the wrists. Go ahead and circle the shoulders over the wrists a couple times. And then switch the direction of those shoulder circles. Come through neutral, bring your right toes back behind you, lift the right knee, and then inhale, left elbow comes up. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Couple more like that. Bring the elbow up. If you want, you can stretch that left arm all the way up and then bring the left hand down. Take a couple more like that. I'm going to move my screen up a little bit. I set up a little too close. And next time you bring that left hand down, bring your right knee back underneath the right hip, and then we'll swap out sides. So left leg comes back. Inhale the right elbow. Exhale, bring the hand down. Couple more like this. Very similar to earlier. Notice that you're kind of rotating through the chest as well, right? So you're rotating to the right as you lift the elbow, and then rotating the chest toward the mat as you press the hand back down. The next time that right hand comes down, bring your left knee back underneath the left hip. Root down through your right hand. Keep the knees where they are. Inhale the left arm. And then thread the needle. Sweep that left arm underneath your body. You can bring the hips up or back toward a child's pose variation. You want to put a little bit of body weight on the outer edge of the left arm or left shoulder. You can keep the right hand exactly where it is, or walk the right fingertips forward or over to the right, or corkscrew that right arm behind your back. You can stay here. I have lots of options for you today. Or kick the right leg over to the right, straightening that right leg out, and using that to very subtly send a little bit more of your body weight onto the outer edge of the right, or outer edge of the left shoulder rather. If you can come right up to that place that's a little bit interesting and edgy in your body, right? There's a boundary. And without forcing anything, just hang out with your body where that boundary is, where that stretch sensation is. An opportunity to practice lengthening your breath, breathing in a way that helps connect your nervous system to the sensations without sending it into kind of a panicky place. One more long breath. Stay for your exhale. Bring that right hand underneath the right shoulder if it moved. Right knee comes back in. We're going to open up into a side plank variation. Left leg comes back. Left arm comes up. Circle through the left arm a couple times. Relax the right ear down toward the right shoulder. Switch the direction of those arm circles. All right, take that left arm long. You're going to square the chest toward the mat and then step the left foot forward. Bring the left hand around the left foot. So you're framing out that front leg. Straighten the left leg out a bit and then rebend the left knee. A couple more times like that, finding a little hamstring stretch here. Little dynamic movement. The next time your left knee is bent, stay there, keep the right hand down, sweep the left arm back, bend the right knee. You may or may not catch that foot. Either way, it doesn't really matter. If you do catch the foot, use that foot to gently open up through the chest. You might even bend that top elbow a little bit. If you don't catch the back foot, no big deal. Reach the left arm back, press into the right hand gently to rotate the chest toward the ceiling. You can drop the back leg. There's no chance that that foot's going to be helpful. Long breath in. Release that top hand. Slide the left knee back to meet the right and then press it back to a child's pose. Widen out your hands wider than shoulder distance. And then when your forehead touches the mat, nod the head real slow, side to side, giving your brow center a little massage. Releasing any tension in those very top vertebrae, those very uppermost bones in your back that connect to the base of the skull, that hold your brain. When you're ready, pull forward to hands and knees. Take a big breath in. A long breath out. This time, bring your right arm up. And then thread the needle. Right arm comes underneath the body. Going all the way down onto that right shoulder. Adjusting the left hand, however it feels like it's going to help you get that stretch. For me on this side, it feels good to tent the left finger, kind of press into that hand gently to roll toward the right. You can stay there or take your left leg and kick it out to the left. Stay there. You might find that corkscrew motion with your top arm. And see if you can find something that feels kind of challenging, but not unsteady, not unstable. So if you feel like you're actually going to do a sideways somersault, you may have gone a little too far. It's going to be hard for your body to relax, hard for the skeletal muscle to ungrip. Give yourself 2 more long breaths. Starting to move toward your side plank variation, bringing the left hand under the left shoulder, left knee under the left hip. Sweep that right arm all the way up, right leg extends back behind you, and then some gentle circles through your right arm. So I'm really still relaxing the muscles of my right arm and right shoulder. Switch the direction of those circles. I was on like a percentage, it would be maybe 30% muscular engagement of my max in that right arm. Take that arm long, breathe in, square the chest to the mat, right hand down, step the right foot forward, and then slowly work the hamstring stretch, and re-bend the knee, extending through the right leg, and then flexing back into that right knee. The next time you've got the right knee bent, hang there, left hand stamps down under your shoulder, sweep the right arm back, stay there or bend the left knee catching the foot. And same deal on this side. You may feel a little different on this side. If that foot ends up in your hand, you can kick into that foot. Try and keep your right knee and right toes pointing straight forward and just rotate through the upper body, rotate through the ribs. So sometimes people like to send that right knee out to the side. If that feels safe, fine, but targeting through the upper body here. And same deal, if catching that back foot is just not going to happen or not worth making happen, if you're forcing it, really stretch back through your right hand, push the left hand down to lever the chest open from the ground up. Breathe in. Release that top hand, slide the left knee back, child's pose again. Take a couple deep breaths here. You need to peek at the screen to see a melting heart on a Hatanasana pose. Go for it. What you'll do is lift the hips up, walk the hands forward so hips are in line with the knees, and then drop the chest down. This might be a place where you use a block or a pillow. The chin comes down. You can widen out the arms a bit if that's helpful. Another option you can do here is bend into the elbows and bring the hands to the back of the head, dropping the forehead down instead of the chin, pointing the fingers up. Might be worth it to experiment a little bit to find which variation of this works for your body. So you can think about the shoulder blades hugging inward toward the spine, the underarms opening, sides of the ribs stretching. And deep breaths into that place where the shoulders are kind of drawing inward toward each other, breathing into the back side of the ribs, back side of the lungs, letting the heart space melt down and forward. Two more breaths. If you have your reverse Anjali or Namaste, release that, walk the arms long, melt the hips down, stack your palms to make a little pillow for your forehead, elbows are wide, drop the forehead down. Bring everything back into neutral. So the shoulders come into their natural resting space. Back lengthens. And all the little muscles around the shoulders come back into resting length. We got one more yin stretch for practice. You can extend the left arm out to the side. And then you'll start to roll onto the outer edge of the left hip. If you have something nearby, I'm going to grab a pillow for the left side of your head. You'll look to the right, your left ear or left side of the head is down. You can experiment with how it feels good to bend the knees or bend the left elbow. We're looking for a stretch actually in the left chest and a little bit of compression in the left shoulder blade. Same as in the earlier shapes. Move the body into this stretch. So we're working from outside in by manipulating the alignment of your body. Can you also work from the inside out by breathing in a way that helps facilitate that stretch through it's the left pectoral attachment, the left upper chest. Those muscle fibers connect all the way up to the left upper arm bone. Give yourself one more long breath here. Really slowly work your way back through the center. Before you switch sides, just pause and feel that left shoulder open back up. Feel any rebound sensation in the left upper chest or left upper back. And then set up your stretch on the other side. Right arm comes out, rotate to the outer edge of the right hip. Adjust the legs. You can take butterfly legs. You can offer that on the other side, but I think that was what I was doing. Where you can bend both knees and plant the feet down so that you're getting even more of a stretch. See if you can come right up to the place where it feels like something's happening, but it's not really super duper intense. And then intensify it with your breath. So we want to come up to that kind of boundary spot that the body has, that edge, and not push further than that. Just stay there, hang out there with your body's natural edge. Being curious about what insight, what wisdom we might miss out on when we're in that place of forcing. I often have like an agenda of what I want to do and what I think needs to get done. And sometimes that means missing out on some of the spontaneity and joy that life is trying to put in my pathway. So just seeing if it's possible just for this stretch to play around with doing something a little bit differently. So if you're somebody who always comes in at 110%, what would it be like to be here for the last few breaths at 65 or 70%? Very slowly start to come back on to the front side of your body, letting that right shoulder stretch back open, letting the right side of the chest relax. No rush to work your way onto your back. So do a dynamic spinal twist, a moving spinal twist today. Step the feet down underneath your knees, like bolsters rolling into me. Bring the arms to a T or a goalpost, and then just toggle the knees really slowly, side to side. As you drop your knees from right to left, you could nod your chin the opposite direction of the knees if it feels good to bring that rotation all the way up from the pelvis and the tailbone all the way up the neck. Windshield wipering the knees. Couple more deep breaths, and then gradually working your way to Shavasana. Taking your time to stretch one leg out away from the lower back at a time. To relax one arm down at your side, and then the other arm. Shimmy the shoulders underneath you. Lengthen through the back of the neck. The chin is very subtly tucked here. And press the back of the head down just a smidge to feel that alignment in the neck, and then relax everything as much as possible. Your only job here is to allow yourself to rest in the wisdom of your own breath rhythm, in the wisdom of your own body, your own mind, your own heart. And I'll leave you with words from a Japanese Zen Buddhist named Dojin, who wrote lots of poetry, just a few lines here. Body like a mountain, heart like an ocean, and mind like a sky. You're ready, you can start to nod the head side to side or circle the ankles and the wrists. Move around in any way that feels natural. Eventually meet me in a seated position. Bringing your hands once more to your heart. Take a big cleansing breath here together as you fill your lungs. Let your ribs lift. Let your shoulders shrug up into your ears, and then sip in just a little bit more air at the top of that breath. Open your mouth. Let it go. Thank you for sharing some of your day, some of your time with me. Thank you for your practice. Take good care of yourself. If you have questions, please reach out. You know how to get in touch.